Let's say you love Meg Ryan. Who doesn't? Let's say you like her so much that you want to know every movie where she shows her tits. And not just that, but how far into that movie she shows her tits. Come to our website exclusively, type in Meg Ryan, bam, in the cut, 38 minutes in, 48 minutes in, like an hour, 10 minutes in. She's like naked that whole fucking movie. Welcome in to the Bro 4 Squad podcast, where we're just a bunch of bros drinking beer and talking movies. I'm your host, the Mayor Jeff Hornacek. Thank you guys so much for listening to our show. This is episode 124, and a fun one it is going to be. Before we get started with the movie discussion, though, let's go around and meet the fellow bros with me tonight. It's the usual crew. We start in the lab with the mad scientist, Brian Banner. Banner, how many stories do you believe is the tallest beer bong that a human being could do, scientifically speaking? Like a 2-story beer bong? A 17?
Well, I've done a 1-story one. I've done one up that started at a roof on a single-story house. Seen a guy do one 3 stories, but I'm pretty sure he died.
Well,
so we're probably looking at like 2.5.
Brent Berry would attest that guy threw up, so I don't think that counts.
Yeah, I don't think it's science. If it doesn't stay down, it doesn't count. I mean, science is gross sometimes, but you know,
so 2.5
makes the world go round.
And next we go to our enforcer in the paint, Matt Geiger. Now, Matt, I saw Dwayne Johnson, your boy, bought the XFL for a measly $15 million 2 weeks ago. I got to ask, how much did he outbid you by?
Well, first is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Jeff. So either know his name, know your role, or shut your fucking mouth. And he outbidded me by $14.99 million. I offered $100, my old couch I don't use, my iPod I found, and a He Hate Me Rod Smart jersey. And then Dwayne came over the top with that deal. So he just snuck it by me, as they say.
The 11th hour.
The XFL responded to an email, and they actually said, including the He Hate Me jersey actually lessened the value of your bid.
Yeah, that's true.
Decreased
Las
it.
Vegas Renegades, I think they were called.
Was he the one that played for the Panthers?
Yeah, fuck yeah, he's in the Super Bowl.
But did he actually do anything, or was he just?
I think he returned kicks.
They definitely made him put "smart" on the back of his jersey, right? He wasn't able to.
No, he couldn't put "He Hate Me" on there.
He's like, "Do you know who I am? I was the man in the XFL."
Kids, this is way before equality jerseys and stuff like that. You couldn't do that back in, I think that was early 2000s, maybe.
Only 2 guys I knew from the XFL were him and then Tommy Maddox on the Steelers, right?
Yeah, former Steelers great.
Wasn't he on the Vegas team?
Right?
Sounds right.
You act like you don't have his poster up in your room right now.
Not anymore. Not for months.
All right, guys, if you have not listened to our show before, or even if you have, you know that we start every episode off with the most important thing in any bro's life, and that is chest day. And today we are starting an expose that we've talked about doing for quite some time, and that is a segment called In Defense of Villains, where basically we will analyze supposedly the antagonist or the villain from a respective movie, and we'll see if he actually is, he or she, I guess, is as evil as the film makes them out to be. So today we are analyzing Cal from Titanic, played by Billy Zane. So again, just to reiterate, basically we're putting a villain, in this case Cal, on trial to see if they were really that bad. And we're going to debate, and at the end of the segment, we'll have to vote. And if the majority says that he is a villain, then it's official. There's no more debating it, even with your friends at home, because we've made the decision, okay? So before we get started, I figure, as any healthy courtroom observes, let's have some opening statements. Geiger, your opening statement on how you feel or the case you would make for Cal Hockley from Titanic, villain or not, and why?
First off, I'd like to thank the mayor for recognizing the candidate from Texas as I am to take the floor. So, Jeff, you're engaged. I'm sure that you've taken your fiance on like a trip or a vacation, have you not?
Sure.
So how would you feel if maybe on the second day of that vacation, she kind of just goes missing a couple times and doesn't really, tell you where she is?
Probably be a little perturbed, yeah.
What if then you find out that basically she's running off with a dude that looks like he's 14 and she kind of has a romantic relationship with?
I'd say that I would get very upset, yeah.
What if then you figured out that she got naked for him and he drew her and they had sex?
I would probably be irate.
Irate meaning like, would you want to get him back? Just be like, hey, I want to do something so he feels the pain that I do.
I'd probably try and drown him on the lower deck. Wait a minute.
Okay, yeah. I mean, these are all normal human emotions. Our boy Cal took his nice, 17-year-old girlfriend. That's another fucking discussion.
There's no way
but took her on the Titanic in like 1912. The biggest ship ever. That's something that she could put on Pinterest or, whatever Facegram they had back in the 1912s before Facebook came, and just rub it in all her friends' face. And then she goes behind his back and fucks Leo. Cal, all he was guilty of is having the greatest hair on that ship. I mean, guilty as charged. We can all raise our hands and acquit him of that. But this was a fucking chop job from the very beginning. He took his girlfriend on a cruise. The only thing I can maybe give you is that he hit her, but he hit her after he found out with all of that, which we don't condone. But still, he wasn't abusive before he knew that she was running around on him and basically went behind his back and shit. And also, Rose's mother liked him, which, if you got the mother-in-law, dude, I mean, if your mom likes the guy, you're probably doing something right. And she had a good relationship with his mom. Cal in no way should be acquitted of these charges, Your Honor. And furthermore, he let off the fucking hook and maybe given some money to buy a nice cheap hooker for basically everything that he was done to on that ship.
Very well said. And if you listen to our Titanic movie commentary, speaking of the mom, Banner actually started pitching the mother-daughter combo. I don't know if you thought Cal or Jack was going to be able to pull that off, Banner, as I toss it to you for your opening.
Banner, you never know it's on the menu until you ask. I love it.
Yep. Sometimes the chef will make you something that's not on the menu.
Honestly, the mom wanted
sometimes, yeah.
The mom was
it's usually the best thing you've ever eaten.
Mom was way more interested in Cal than his actual fiance was.
She's aged like a nice cheese.
The cheese doesn't age well. Oh, I see what you're.
So all I'm gonna say, I'm gonna keep my opening statement pretty sweet and short here. The Heart of the Ocean diamond. That was his. That shit is like $250,000. That bitch stole it. Automatically, you steal something that's more than $1,000, you're the villain. I'm sorry. Them's the facts.
So you're saying there can only be one villain?
Yeah. I mean, generally speaking. Now you could have a posse of villains, but they all have one leader.
Wow, this is getting deep.
You got hyenas and Scar. Scar's clearly the leader, but the hyenas are villains as well.
All right, not an apples to apples analogy, but makes sense.
Close enough.
I'll keep my opening statement brief as well, just to leave a little meat on the bone here for the real debate. But I'll say this. The heart wants what it wants. And they weren't even technically married during all of this happening. Now, you know that you're a bad man if you can corrupt the scientists from TGRI and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 into doing your evil bidding. And I'll get into some of the transgressions that Cal performed at the end of this. I mean, the disgusting human being taking advantage of a sinking ship. How desperate was he to get off the boat that he jumped in a lifeboat with Kathy Bates? I mean, that's when you know. Honestly, I bet he weighed the two. He's like, drown or sit with Kathy Bates? Because you know they're going to be stuck for like the next 12 hours together. All I'm saying is Cal took advantage of a situation. This guy was born on second base and thinks he hit a double. And I'm sick of it. All right.
I mean, Kathy Bates is definitely someone in the ship on the way back to Europe or wherever that she would ask to speak to a manager.
100%. Like, well, the guy that actually works for the
we're the only people here, Kathy. And we don't really have ranks. We all just kind of got in a boat for safety. So
he's like, you don't have a legal right to record me on this lifeboat. Okay. All right. So a few key character questions that I think will help really expose if Cal actually is the villain of Titanic. And there's no right or wrong answer here. I just think it will really reveal his true character. So the first thing I want to ask you guys, Banner, we'll start with you. Was Cal being fake nice to Jack the entire time? Or was he legit trying to throw him a bone until he realized that he was dicking down his fiancée, Rose?
I think he was filling him out. I mean, Cal is obviously a businessman, son of a steel tycoon. He's got to feel him out. He needs to see, are they on level playing ground? Is this, guy going to work for me someday? Am I going to work for him? He's just feeling him out. I don't think he was pretending, but it definitely wasn't genuine.
I think that he was being genuinely nice to Jack until, again, he realized that he was getting balls deep in his 17-year-old fiance. Case in point, when they have that really nice dinner, doesn't he tell Jack he can take some of the rolls back with him? I mean, he gave him the to-go box. He's like, hey, Jack, you know what? You can put my salmon in there, too. Why not? Bring that below deck. Let the boys have a little nibble.
Fresh cod today, too.
Now, not the fries. Jesus Christ. They're not animals. Those are sweet potato fries. You know how hard those are to get?
Yeah, that's expensive in 1912.
I legitimately do think that Cal was extending an olive branch to Jack. I don't know if he saw like a little bit of himself in terms of the entrepreneurial spirit, because now, was it by the books? No, but Jack was kind of a swindler. I mean, think about how he even got on the boat. See how he's in his wit.
Gambled his way on there.
He's a good hustler.
And I do feel like Cal really is the victim. He basically opened, I don't want to say his home, but metaphorically, the top deck to Jack. And how does Jack repay him? By stealing the love of his life. Now, whether that was reciprocated or not, you can debate. Like whether Rose loved Cal back or was kind of forced into the marriage, you can debate. But there's no doubt about it, Cal was in love with Rose, and Jack knew that, and he didn't care. So I kind of feel bad for Cal in that instance, because I really do feel like he was helping him out. Geiger, what do you think?
I don't think it matters. I really don't. If he was fake nice or nice. Let's dissect this a little bit. Everyone is fake nice to someone during their fucking day. I don't care if it's your boss or the person at the cubicle next to you that you can't stand or a brother-in-law or whatever. It's still better than being a dick. So if he was nice or fake nice, and like Banner said, maybe he was just feeling them out and maybe he was fake nice at first, nice at the last, or vice versa. He was being nice. That's all that really fucking matters. If someone's nice to me, I don't really, unless they're trying to sell me something, I don't really care if they're being nice or fake nice. He was a classy dude.
The only people I'm a dick to right off the bat is when I have to call AT&T because my internet's fucking slow.
Yeah.
Those people I don't even pretend to be. All right, second question. Is Cal the villain, or is the scientist from TGRI in the second Ninja Turtles movie? Was he actually just following Cal's orders as his minion? Or did this guy take things a little too far in some instances where Cal was like, whoa, chill the fuck out, dude. I don't even want you to do that much. Geiger, what do you think?
I think the dude from TGRI is the true villain of this because, he's the one that basically put Jack in the basement and all that fucking shit. I mean, Cal, I think it's hard to say because I think the guy from TGRI planted that, what was it, watch or whatever on Jack.
I think that was all TGRI guy. I don't even think.
I think it was too. I think Cal was basically like, "Hey, I'm kind of pissed. I want him gone," but I think it's him, man. Cal just seems like a fucking cool dude. Now, if he was part of planning the watch, I don't blame him at all for it, honestly, because you fucked up bro code, and when you fuck up bro code as a wrestling fan, it's no holds barred, hell in a cell. All weapons legal, man. You threw out the rule book. Jack started it. As quoting Rambo, he drew first blood.
I could see JR. Oh my God, it's the guy from TGI. He's got the watch.
Coming in under the ring. He must have been there the whole fucking night.
Do you think after TGI guy handcuffed Jack to the bed, knowing the Titanic was flooding, he came back up deck and Cal said to him, so, where's Jack? He's okay, right? And TGI guy's like, yes, we had a good talk. Didn't handcuff him to the bed or anything. Surrogate mother.
He's dying a slow death.
Banner, what do you think?
I think Cal and TGRI guy had a conversation, and Cal just said, hey, you do you. I need plausible deniability.
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. I think he looked the other way. He knew something fishy was going on, but plausible deniability. I had no idea, nothing to do with it. And I just think that's being smart.
Sure. He knows that guy's a fucking loose cannon. You don't let a dog off the leash and then act surprised when it bites somebody, you know? I'm fair with that. I mean, I don't have much to add to that point. I'll just say, TGRI guy, I do think he went a little rogue. He has probably not felt like he was in control of his own life for quite some time. I like to pretend my own backstory. The TGRI guy and Cal's dad were like partners, and then Cal's dad really fucked him over, and so now he's had to like work for the family for the rest of his life. So he's not too happy with it. But anytime he gets to beat the shit out of a low deck poor kid,
14-year-old.
Yeah, he really feels good about himself. So I won't hold Cal too responsible there. All right. I can't wait for Geiger's response to this one, and I wish Ronnie Cycli were here, but Banner, we will start with you. Is Rose innocent in all of this?
Absolutely not. That fucking lying whore.
She's 17, Banner.
I don't care how old you are. They'll try you as an adult, okay?
So she's first off, a junior in high school, so I'm supposed to.
Couple things. A, she was clearly marrying Cal for his money because her dad, he had a slight gambling problem. Not a big deal. It's okay.
It's only a problem if you quit.
Right. I think that, well, obviously she fucked Leo. And I mean, do I blame her? No, I'd fuck him too. But you can't do that when you're engaged to somebody else. Yeah. Just saying.
Asterisk. Buy it.
She stole $250,000 out of his pocket. And what is that? What's $250,000 in 1912? What? That's like $5 million today, right?
All the money in the world, probably.
It's a fuck ton of money. And she just took it. Whatever. Oh, and then she also, it's like when 1912 version of you break up with your boyfriend and then you immediately post new pictures of you and your boyfriend on your Instagram, knowing your old boyfriend's going to see. She did that, except it was a naked picture that Leo drew. It's fucked up, man.
The more I think about it, it is really weird that she held on to that necklace the whole time. Like, it wasn't Jack's.
Yeah.
She just loves, I don't know. It's a little disgusting.
Geiger, she stole it, and, it's a rainy day fund. You never know when you're going to have to get out of the country. Especially when you're as terrible a person as she is.
Beautiful.
And if she's only 17, what kind of drugs is she on? Because the bitch looks 45.
She's tanning too much.
That's the problem. Geiger, what can you add to that?
Rose is absolutely not to blame for this at all. 0%.
Not to blame?
Not.
There's one way this can go that I will buy it.
Okay. What year is this, Jeff? Year's the Titanic.
1912, year of our Lord.
1912. Women didn't have the right to vote. They weren't in business leadership. It's not like today where, if a woman gets really drunk and has sex with a guy, that you can blame her for the guy taking advantage of her. It's not like today where if a woman doesn't get a job that, she doesn't, cry feministic stuff and stuff, not get it. Women have more to say nowadays.
Back then, women could steal in 1912?
Absolutely. Nowadays, women are just as equal as men in problems and everything. It's a new day, Banner. It's a better day, I say. But now you can't blame women for shit. You can today. Back then, you couldn't. They didn't have the rights and stuff. But women have begged for those rights, and now they're as equal as men. That they have to be as accountable as men. It's great. And they can't use certain movements and stuff to cry or anything about it. So I support Rose. It was a different time. She didn't know any better.
But let me pose this question. This is what Cycli brought up a lot in the movie commentary. How are we to feel sorry for Rose? I mean, Cal has given her everything she could have wanted.
Taking care of her family.
To this point has been good to her. Her only complaint is that she just doesn't love him. But that's of her own. She's put herself in this situation. If you don't love Cal, you know who I feel sorry for? Not you, Cal.
But the thing is I see her as a 17-year-old girl that doesn't know what she wants. She likes to have fun. She doesn't realize yet that fun costs money. So Cal is someone she wants to be with when she's like 25. Jack's someone she wants to be with now. And you just have to believe she's 17. That's what the script says. So Cal doesn't need Rose. Rose is doing Cal a fucking favor. Honestly, Cal could get way better.
That is true.
Yeah.
Jack is the guy in college who, like, the girl walks out of class, like her freshman orientation, and doesn't even go to the school, but he's playing the acoustic guitar under a tree with 4 chicks around him. And she just catches the end of his song, and he goes, and that was Wonderwall. She's like, oh my God. He's such a free spirit. I don't know. I feel a little bit bad for Cal because I think the hardest thing for a rich person, especially in 1912, and believe me, I'm not saying pity the rich, but it's to know what chicks are into you because of you and what chicks are into you because of your money. And it sounds like Rose isn't into him at all, and he's really into her genuinely, so he's just kind of like, will I ever find love?
I think you could even go back and blame this on Rose's mom.
For sure. Rose's
mom is forcing her into this because they need the money. She's not innocent by any means, but she could be. You could convince me she's a victim as well.
I don't know. I think she's a victim through all this. She's so young that basically she's getting mail order bride on this, and she doesn't really know what she wants. And she's too young to know how attracted to money she is. She won't learn that till she's like 25.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think Geiger convinced me there. All right, number 4, and Geiger brought this up in his opening argument. I just put, okay, but Cal hits Rose in the face at one point. Your thoughts? Matt, I'll let you go first.
I mean, I can't condone that. Come on. If I do, like, a lot of bad things will happen. We'll get comments. So I can't condone that. However, I can't even say that. If you were to, let's say that she checked about 4 of the 5 boxes. Let's just say that. I mean, you take her on vacation and she cheats on a guy. I mean, that'd be like taking a girl on a fucking cruise that you pay for and she's, fucking the cook or something, like behind your back.
I mean, that's bellhop. No, he was a bartender.
The worst part about this, bros, is that it's on a fucking ship. So you can't just say, fuck this is over, I'm going to get a plane ticket and go home, or you're out of here. You're on a fucking ship. You can't throw her over fucking board. I mean, I guess you could.
Well, let's pump the brakes on that.
Honestly, if Jack wouldn't have stepped in, she would have thrown herself overboard.
It's true.
I'll have to say, though, man, I mean, there has to be some other hot strange on that ship somewhere. It's like big as 3 football fields. Come on. Cal could have found someone else. But you don't hit her. You just don't do it.
Yeah.
That was a time where doing that was acceptable. I'm not condoning it. It's clearly not acceptable, but back then it was. And like you said, I'm not going to say she had it coming, but she didn't exactly put herself in a situation to not have that happen.
I was scared to put this question on here, but I was also like, I'll lose sleep if I don't ask it. Yeah, the only thing I'll add to that is, can you ever do what he did? Absolutely not. And this is probably the most concrete example of how he really is just villainous at his core. The one thing throughout the story, though, is when you actually go back and look at it, you're like, I mean, Cal's a piece of shit. He did some really, really shitty things. This is at the top of that list. But Rose is also really self-centered, too. And I'm not saying that in defense of her getting hit. I'm just saying, like, it's just a toxic relationship, right? Like, they're bad for each other. They're both fucked up. But Cal, yeah, what he did there obviously was, like, completely egregious. You can't do that ever.
Especially on number film.
Yeah, the camera guy's right there. What are you doing? Roger Goodell would be like, I just need to see a few more angles before we actually
give him 2 games.
Yeah.
Do you think they wrote that in, Jeff? Do you think that after they watched the screening, like, do you think that was reshoots where they're like, dude, we got to make Cal hated? Like, some people are going to feel sympathetic to him.
It might have been, because I think at that point, as the viewer, it's the point of no return, right? Every argument that he had going for him, he loses credibility when he puts hands on a woman,
He's almost like Roy from The Office, where a lot of people felt kind of bad for him because Pam's like the biggest pain in the ass, and like he was faithful to her and everything.
It's a different debate. But yeah, you're right. And then when he freaks out on Jim, you're like, oh, okay, well, now I can't back you no matter what. All right, second to last question. Banner, we'll start with you. Towards the end of the film, Cal grabs a child from the deck. This is when the Titanic is sinking, and pretends to be his father to get them both on a lifeboat. Was he saving himself, the kid, or a little bit of both?
I'll say this. Cal is a survivor. He's going to do what he needs to do to survive.
Answer the question.
He happened to find this cute, innocent young boy that just deserves to continue his life. He needs to tell the story of the Titanic, that little boy. So I'll say a little bit of both. Mainly the kid, but I mean, there was like a 25% chance that he said, you know what, this might work.
I picture Banner with nice slacks on, really nice polished shoes, no shirt, and a tie, walking in front of the jury, presenting his argument. And the women are just captivated at every word he's saying. Geiger, what do you think? I mean, at this point, he's taking advantage of the situation, but facts are facts. That kid would not have gotten on that lifeboat if it weren't for Cal.
All I see is the gif of that black guy pointing to his brain, because this is the smartest thing ever. I would have done the same fucking thing. I mean...
And you're a survivor!
I know, and I'm like, he's probably thinking, God, that there's a kid there, so I can play it off. But you know what? I'm like, save your little fucking shit. We're like, well, I go down with the ship from the person that the only fight you've gotten in the last 10 years is behind a fucking keyboard. You don't know what you'd do in that fucking situation if your life's never been on the line. I'd get on a fucking boat. Because you know there's so much politicking going on that you wouldn't be the first person doing this shit. So get on with your life. You're a successful oil or a steel tycoon. Steel is like making masks right now in 2020. It's something that needs to be done in the 1912s. You're doing God's work, Cal. Just press on.
I totally agree. The movie presents it in a light where it's like, oh, he's taking advantage of the situation. That kid was lost and scared. The only way things get worse is if that kid's lost, scared, and then dead. And Cal stepped in. And like Geiger said, he's an oil tycoon or a steel tycoon. The products he makes employ thousands, and it helps the company. The railroad, the Transcontinental Railroad, was about to be a huge thing in this country. The Industrial Revolution, that all doesn't happen without Cal Hockley. And if Cal Hockley dies on that boat, who knows what that kid grows up to be? I hope not a serial killer, because then that doesn't help the argument.
Well, at least you got the chance, Jeff.
At least I got the chance.
Are you sure we're not a political podcast? Because every time we get answered a tough question, we just talk about creating more jobs in the kids. We're doing all the playbook stuff right now.
Exactly.
It's just way easier than answering tough questions.
All right, last question. And Geiger brought this up a little bit earlier just because it has to be said as part of Cal's argument to be not a villain. But Cal's hair, is it illegal to use it to get that much pussy in 1912? Geiger, you have the floor.
Yeah, conditioner didn't come out till like the 1950s, so he's just working maybe with shampoo, and then obviously unless he packed his own shampoo, it's just whatever the fucking Titanic had, which probably isn't the product he's using. I have a conspiracy theory that he's using olive oil or something else. I'm not sure if he did the Paul Walker mayonnaise yet, but that mane is fucking perfect. You get any pussy on the fucking ship except for Rose apparently. But dude, that hair, honestly, if like they say with the jury, I mean, you've seen The People vs. O.J. Simpson. It's how you look and present yourself. If Cal was on jury right now, we'd let him go. We'd be like, get the fuck out of here with that hair. There's no way you need to be behind bars. That hair needs to be seen by people, civilians.
Keep in mind, this is a day and age where like wearing hats was in vogue. And I mean, it would just be a travesty and a crime for Cal to put anything over that lettuce.
The volume. I wish Michael Caine was like talking about him on video. Look at the volume, the veracity.
The sheer, the ferocity, the sheen, the shine. You can run a comb through it.
Not a single spit in, Master Wayne.
I see the League of Shadows. I see Maybelline. All right, Banner, to you. I mean, what else can you really say about Cal?
So, your question is it illegal to get all that pussy?
With using the hair.
Using the hair. I say it is not illegal. It is perfectly legal. He's in international waters.
Damn.
I couldn't prosecute him.
Didn't even think. You've actually seen him eat another man's penis? Wow, that's a great point, Banner. Cycly so proud of you right now.
Email you that?
Yeah, what the
Look, when you have enough court dates with Cycly, you pick up a thing or two.
I was paying attention like half of those. I heard some stuff that he said.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I won't add much to that. I'll just say, I mean, Billy Zane's hair, as Banner often says about the score, it's a whole nother character. In the
It
movie.
really is.
You know? I mean,
It
that's
arcs too. It's got a good arc to it.
and as all great characters arcs, its arc has an end because pretty
Yeah.
soon after this movie, the
It
fucking
does, actually.
hairline that
Yeah.
Billy Zane had said goodbye. That's a whole Well, that should be a whole episode. Is like, what the fuck happened?
Do you want to hear Bro Force Squad do a 30 for 30 just on Billy Zane's hair? Comment below. That'd be a fucking great. What if I told you?
What if I told you that this hairline would not last another 2 years after Titanic? Like,
What if
the
I
fuck?
told you his hair began to sink with the ship?
Yeah.
Damn, Banner.
Damn, nice.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it tonight,
There.
How
guys.
many, did you take off work and just prep for the show tonight? What the hell?
Maybe.
All right, so that brings us to our final verdict. We have to vote villain or not. I mean, I don't think this will ever be because if we're bringing up the topic, I think we're pretty sure they're not a villain. I'll go first. Cal in this movie is not a villain. That's my vote. Banner, what do you think?
I think this movie doesn't have a villain.
Not
I
even
think
the iceberg?
I mean, look, Titanic's in Iceberg's home. I'm just saying, self-defense.
Okay.
I
so
don't think there's a villain. I think that this is a very compelling story about focusing on three individuals and how they deal with a catastrophic event as being on a sinking ship.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Geiger, I think I know your answer, but what
I
do you
mean, I
think?
can't believe we were even voting on this. I mean, you've interrupted my nightly 8 o'clock where I masturbate to the photo of Billy Zane in a Phantom. So we should be voting, is he an American hero and a sex symbol? But no, he's absolutely not a villain. I can't believe you. I should be masturbating to his hairline right now.
Yeah, if you want to take 30-second break, feel free to. Dude, if you actually had... Okay, can one of you guys get me a poster of the Phantom for Christmas?
Okay.
You put a bid in on eBay and the guy just goes, but why though?
Oh, whoa. I thought it was a $20 limit.
Yeah. The Christmas is great because you can tell someone I love you this many dollars worth. All right. Any final thoughts on Cal as the villain in Titanic? I mean, clearly we vote a resounding no, he's not the villain. I know Ronnie Cycley's at home pounding his fist on the table, glad that justice has been served. Banner, what do you want to leave the people with? What is your closing argument? Or even just closing thoughts?
I cannot believe that in this debate, her stealing $500,000 from him, and she didn't even cash it. She literally just threw it away. It wasn't a bigger deal.
I thought it was $250,000. I just don't want us to keep increasing the value of the.
It was $250,000.
Okay, so that's $250,000.
Yeah.
That's a lot
did I
of
say
money
before?
back then. That's
said-
like
were you
writing
just-
someone like a
No,
$4
no.
million check.
All right, I'm not minimizing it, but he just said $500,000. It's like when you catch a fish and it
Okay,
like
yeah.
eight.
Well, he's been drinking and smoking, so
But you don't need to exaggerate to make her look like Rose look like a piece of shit for doing that.
no.
Because even
Yeah.
Bill Paxton's like, dude, that could have fed any of our families for like the next 20, 30 years. Why'd you just toss that in the ocean? Geiger, what do you want to end the people with?
The
on
problem with this movie for women is that the lead is Leonardo DiCaprio. And yes, women, we know that you would pick Leo over anybody, but guess what? It's real life. You're not going to get Leo, and you're probably not going to get Billy Zane. But if we gave you a profile on who Billy Zane is, every woman would pick him. You're getting trapped in. The movie got into your heads. Look at this rationally. Use your common sense.
It's
Billy
the
Zane
It's
is
the Joe
who
Lenardi
you want
blind
to marry.
resumes, right? It's like,
Right.
you know, bracketology, like this team and this team, but you can't see their names. This
Yeah.
should be a tournament, and
Right.
you always end up picking Monmouth over UCLA.
Yep.
That's what you would do with Billy Zane versus Jack.
I mean, that's not even. Billy Zane's not Monmouth. I mean, he's like.
That's true. But Jax would say, like, lied to get on the Titanic, lives below deck where it's smelly, is going to drop Rose the second we hit land. Like, those are all true things about Jack and Rose's relationship. I don't really have anything else to add to that. I'll just say that is Cal a flawed human being? Of course, we all are. I look in the mirror every day and I say, Jeff Hornacek, you got a few things you need to tweak. We need to pop open the hood and rearrange some wires. But does that make Cal a villain? Absolutely not. And does he make mistakes in the movie? Of course he does. But those mistakes are much overshadowed by he's a victim here, really. Yeah. I mean, the way he's treated by Rose. And just because you're rich doesn't mean you can't feel emotion like pain and hurt.
Right.
You can't buy your way out of that. All right, that was our indefensive villains, Cal from Titanic. I know we have a few other really good ideas for future episodes on this. I won't tease them here, but they're...
Or if you have
you guys ideas, comment below. Tell us who you want us to defend.
Yeah, who's a villain that needs their fucking story heard?
Who's a villain that needs their day in court, in the mayor's court?
Exactly.
Call this segment.
The mayor's court is a very corrupt court because the mayor just chimes in with his arguments also.
Yeah, it's we're not really organized yet, but I don't know. We vote, so it's kind of similar.
There we go. North Korea's like, we do too. It's like, yeah, but there's like one guy on the ballot that doesn't. Well, Jesus, I mean, let's walk before we run. All right, that brings us to the second part of our show, our protein shake, where we talk about what's in our cup, also known as what have we watched lately. It's kind of become a tradition now, Banner. I don't even care how many things you've watched. Why don't you go first? If there's anything we watched together and you want to save it, though, feel free.
I'm just going to talk about one thing because I am a disgusting human being. The new season of Big Brother started. I watched the episodes. I also... along with my mother-in-law, signed up for CBS All Access 1 month for free, and I am watching the live feeds every second I can. I am obsessed. I'm a disgusting person, and I'm not sorry for it.
I know Pop used to have like the once a week a late night live feed. How often does All Access have them?
They're on pretty much all the time. They go to like Stars anytime there's like a competition or anything like that is happening that they'll show on the weekly episode. But pretty much any other time that they're just hanging out and talking, it's on there. They don't like cut away whenever they're talking game either, which is super fascinating how fucking paranoid these people are. They are terrified of getting voted out.
The only thing I would be, and obviously you'd have to watch like the whole thing to ruin this, but I don't want to like ruin the next episode. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, see, and I'm the complete opposite. Spoilers, I want them all. It's not about the ending, it's about the journey for me.
True, but I think the episode, like, to me, is the journey.
I would agree with that.
Now, having said that, if I was over at your house and we had a 6-pack and you said you want to put this on, I would just kick my feet up and be like, well, don't fucking ask me stupid questions.
Yeah. You'd probably say, well, should we run to the store and get another 6-pack just to be safe?
Exactly. I'd be like, just make sure the volume is where I can hear it. Geiger, what's in your cup?
That's all I got.
What have you watched lately?
I've never watched Big Brother, actually. Don't know if I was...
You would hate it, and you would get obsessed with it all at the same time.
I
got two things. First thing, I watched the PGA Championship this weekend. Big golf guy. Big sports guy. Actually, it didn't feel that weird not having fans until about the last 4 holes on Sunday. When I think Jason Day said it best that coming Saturday and Sunday, whenever you have a leader that hasn't really been there and he has to sleep on it, like I can either win this and make my career, or I can totally shit myself and everyone can say, see, you couldn't handle the pressure.
What a collapse, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, the pressure of the tournament's still there, but people around just escalate it more, like cheering and all that kind of stuff.
Sunday, right? I mean, if you think about like environment, you would almost have to then manufacture the feeling of like people watching it. Now you know it's TV, but
honestly, man, it couldn't have been more perfect. Coming Saturday night, once again, if you know me, I fucking love tournaments on the West Coast because you can play golf in the morning, me and Nate Thurman, and then you can watch this thing. It's not over till like 9:30, which is fucking great because that's like what would that be, like 7:30 California time. It's played in San Francisco. It was really cool. it being 100 degrees where I was at, and they were in like a hoodie because it was like 65 degrees in San Fran this weekend, apparently. Sunday, we had literally, I mean, this hardly ever happens, but you had about 12 to 14 people at one point that could have won this thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were big names. You had Dustin Johnson, Jason Day, Brooks Koepka was in there till he exploded, Xander Schauffele, Paul Casey, who hasn't won a major. Then you got some up-and-comers like Matthew Wolff made a charge that everyone loves from Oklahoma State. Colin Morikawa won it from Cal, and him and Matt Wolff had a bunch of awesome playoffs and stuff in college when it was Cal versus Oklahoma State. Couldn't have asked for a better thing. Did you guys watch this at all?
I watched a little bit on Sunday.
Okay, Sunday was awesome, but then I started thinking, like, man, this would have been cool with fans, because Morikawa drove a par 4 and hit it to about 7 feet,
such a good shot,
and then made eagle, because at that time they were talking about we might have like a 6-person playoff that I don't think has ever happened. The year that Ricky won the Players, there was a 4-person playoff, but there was about to be a 6 to 7 player playoff, and they said they're all going to go off the same hole. They're all going to be mic'd up, which I really love. DeChambeau was in it for a while too, which everyone has his opinions on him and stuff, but it was really fun to watch. The other thing I guess I didn't watch, and I might not watch, I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on it. College football. So what do I want? First off, I want to ask you both, what do you think is going to happen? And what would you like to happen? So I'll just say what I think is going to happen. I think the SEC is going to play hell or high water. I really do. And if they play, I think the ACC will. And the Big 12 came out today that they're going to play. However, last week the Big 10 came out they were. Now they're not. But I think the Big 12 is, and this is why, is because they've been so kind of laughed at as the 5th conference, and you know how we all play each other. We have a true champion, but now they have a champion game and stuff. And this is their opportunity to maybe have just basically a 3-conference. You all play your conference, and then you have the top 3 conference winners and then a wild card and have your own 4-team playoff. And that's what I think is going to happen. And honestly, that's what I'd like to happen. I'd like to see the NCAA disband, and I'd like to see some more of like a bigger playoff and everything like that. Would you guys watch that if that was the thing? And I know that you guys, both are Oklahoma State ties, so you probably wouldn't mind they would be playing if the Big 12 played.
I'll go first, Boehner, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I mean, all I want is everyone to play at the same time. And I think the most normal season if they play now, there won't be fans, which is going to be weird.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather just play in the spring with the Big Ten, because whatever happens, I don't want there to be the asterisk of like, well, Ohio State didn't play and Michigan didn't play. And
yeah, right.
All this other stuff. And college football without fans and without like tailgating, I mean, we might be able to do it to some regard, but like if we can do it in the spring closer to or more normal, that to me would feel more like college football than doing some different version of it in late September. Now, having said that, it probably benefits my conference to do it now, but I'm just worried, like, whatever happens, there's always going to be that asterisk or that excuse there. And also, I agree with you, Matt. The SEC is probably, there's going to be football in the fall, but I'm just worried that the Big Ten still says they want to play in the spring. So even if they just play each other, like, what does that look like? What ends up happening?
Yeah, and I guess they just play the MAC and the Pac-12 and so. And I don't really want to talk about the fans just because that's a whole different thing that I believe as a student you pay tuition, and part of that tuition is that you're part of the alumni and you should be able to go to the games, and that's a tough call. I'm just talking about just football and having football on Saturday and having barbecues and watching it at your house and stuff that we do a lot, and we might not get to do it. Banner, what do you think?
I agree with Jeff. I think I would rather have all the conferences play together. There's already enough shit talking and, well, what about this? And our conference is better when they all play at the same time. And it would just be 10 times worse and even more annoying. I think I agree. I think the SEC will play as well. And I think the Big 12 is because there's too much money to lose. You think if you have 2 major conferences and a bunch of the lower conferences not playing, the only football that's going to be on TV is Big 12 or SEC. And they can't afford financially not to televise those games.
Yeah.
I hate to say it because it's such a polarizing decision and why it's all getting canceled and postponed. At the end of the day, it's that bottom dollar, and that's what counts, and that's sad.
But this is what's confusing to me. It's all like a really short-term view, because if you play like the game when OU and OSU play, whatever, Texas, when they all play their conference games, whenever they are, they could be in fucking June and on Mars, ESPN and their family of networks are going to televise the games. Like, because it's ratings. Like, someone's going to watch them no matter when they are. But if you could play in the spring and then also have 50,000 fans there, I mean, that's where the money really comes for these organizations, for these colleges, especially when a lot of their contracts with other schools are predicated on gate receipts. Like, I know OSU's one non-conference game against Tulsa is like a $200,000 paycheck to University of Tulsa. And that's on the presumption that people are in attendance at the games.
And I don't know the answer to this question. I don't know if anybody does, but so if the Big Ten plays in the spring and they have fans in the stands, does that money equal to the SEC playing on Saturdays if they're the only fucking thing on TV? Because TV dollars are a lot of money too. I don't know. With sponsorship, I have no clue.
The TV deals have nothing to do with ratings, though. They pay you farm out the rights to televise your games, and then ESPN obviously just makes more money if they get ratings. But so the schools get the money from the TV contracts regardless. It's the gate receipts and the concessions and all the other shit they can sell on campus. And honestly, dude, we all know this. The donations from alumni are a lot of times predicated on like, dude, I was at the football game. I had a fucking blast.
Yeah.
Well,
that's how they get recruits. They take them to the games with the fans and the atmosphere.
So,
and the Virginia Tech walking, everyone has their traditions in college football.
Right.
But pretty much 100% of those traditions have to do with the fans.
I'm starved for Saturdays and grilling and drinking beer with you guys and watching football. And I want that much sooner rather than later. But also, I think it would be really cool even if it was in the spring, and I get that it would be a short layoff to next fall. But I think if we could wait, maybe not even in the spring, man. Maybe I'm optimistic, but maybe even like February or like late January. If it would feel more like college football, if everybody was playing on Saturdays and we could all tailgate, we could have people in the stands. To me, that's what I would prefer. But I don't really think there's like a right answer here.
I got the right answer, and you guys are gonna fucking destroy this. Of course, you have the right
answer.
So I want what's going on. I want the SEC, Big 12, and ACC to play in a couple months, and they're going to have a championship winner, whatever they do. Then I want the Big Ten and all the rest of them play in the spring. And then next college football season, when everything hopefully is back to normal and everyone's playing the same season, I want the kickoff to college football to be that champion from the fall to play the champion in the spring for like the COVID fucking championship. And I know you're going to say, those aren't the same players. They aren't, but who gives a fuck? It's COVID. Everything's fucked up. And that'd be so fun to watch. They'd be like, hey, this game actually counts for your season, but it also counts for the championship of the COVID season that was so fucked up. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Have it at AT&T Stadium or the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium or something like that. But basically just create a bit. I mean, this is so fucked up. It's hard to get everything organized. So just create something that you're never going to have again. And like you said, well, there's always going to be people that are like, well, they weren't everyone's going to remember the champions from the COVID era. I guarantee you, because it was just so fucking weird. That's what I would do.
Yeah. And college football fans are going to, bitch about anything anyway. So
they always bitch. There's a 14 playoff. They bitch all the time. If there's we have 64 fucking teams, 68 teams to get in the March Madness tournament. There's 10 teams that are like, what the fuck? I mean, that's just college sports, which I love. I love the bickering. That's what makes it fun.
That's why we watch it.
That's why you watch it. Yeah.
I think more football is always good football. And there's a lot of times, man, in college football that there's sometimes maybe 3 games I'd want to watch that are on at the same time. And if I'm not going to have that problem, you can spread it out the whole year. All right. I mean, I would like to have fans in there for sure. Especially for the students that are paying tuition.
Did the MAC cancel?
The Pac-10 and the Big Ten are the big ones. So if you'd have a championship between those two conferences, that'd be some good football.
The real problem with the MAC is for gambling purposes, those are all our Tuesday, Wednesday night games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it. I need my
Well, you're
Toledo.
gonna
What
have
am
to
I gonna
actually
do on
pick
the
some
Tuesday
winners
night
on
now?
Saturday.
Matt, listen to yourself. You sound like a fucking idiot.
Are they gonna be? Are the spreads gonna be obtainable?
You don't want to watch Tuesday night Akron at Bowling Green, Akron
Not
plus 10.5?
really.
Come on, man. You like what?
I'm trying to turn a negative into a positive though, and hopefully this will just disband the NCAA. That's what we can hope for.
Whatever it takes for that to happen, you just fucking.
And it is ridiculous that these students bring in this much money and they don't even really have a voice in this. Their conferences are just telling them if they're going to play or not. That's insane.
Remind me when we get off pod to talk to you about Joel Klatt's tweet about student athletes getting paid.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
It's too long of a tangent to put
I'm a big fan of Joel Klatt, actually. He's on a radio station I listen to, and he has some hot opinions. I'll say
I was
that.
gonna say, I don't know. Well, then I'd be interested to see how you feel because it was like go college students. Oh, you did that? No, never mind then.
Okay.
No. It's almost like he's mad he didn't get paid when he played, and so now he's like,
Yeah.
should.
Colorado. I think that's where he went. All right, that's all I got, man.
Good stuff. All right, I watched Supermarket Sweep on Netflix. You guys remember
I
the show?
loved that show when I was a kid.
Store game show.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch on Netflix because I think the episodes are from like 2001. So like you're trying to guess the price of items like 20 years ago. I'm like, fuck, how much was a bar of soap in 2001?
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. I think you and the wife would love it. They're 22 minutes. They're really fun to watch like while you're eating or something. And they're rebooting it on ABC apparently soon.
I loved them just taking like 15 chickens and chucking them into the cart. It's so
Brian,
much fun.
You can only have 6 of one item in the Supermarket Sweep. Jesus Christ.
Excuse me.
Yeah. The sweep is great because some guys like won't like they'll be like, go grab the speed stick, and the dude will run to like the fucking hot dogs, and I'm screaming at my TV like, you dumb motherfucker. Like if you never bought deodorant, it's really fun, it's really cheesy, and if you have Netflix, which I'm assuming most people listening to this do, just give it a go. It's called a collection of episodes, as they often have for game shows, because the episodes are like really disparate. It's not like one season. You could tell by the host the way he dresses. It like crosses a couple years.
Spread out a little bit.
He found his fashion and then he lost it. I watched The Matrix Reloaded, and my next episode I'll have watched The Matrix Revolutions. I'll say this, man. I've never been a massive Matrix guy. The Matrix Reloaded, high highs and really low lows. Like absolutely incredible action scenes with the most 2002 score you could ever imagine. And so much leather. It's so horny on leather. It's like a little bit ridiculous.
What was up with the early 2000s and leather? I just don't get it.
Leather equaled sex appeal, basically. Like, that's what it was. But the action scenes are insane.
Short-lived.
The thing I wrote down, though, dude, when the bullets are not flying in this thing, oh my God, is it a fucking snooze fest. I would watch it like when I would come home for lunch from work really briefly. And one time I was just sitting by myself, and there was like exposition being given by the architect, and I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, the Wachowskis write dialogue for just themselves, I feel like. Like, just get back to kicking the shit out of each other. And the other thing about The Matrix, and the problem with Reloaded and Revolutions, so it introduces this premise of these machines trying to dig to get into Zion, like it's been this problem for 100 years. And that's why we brought you here, Neo. I don't think that's ever mentioned in the original Matrix. And they act like this has been the reason he's come here the whole time. I'm like, okay, you couldn't bring that up like the first fucking 3 weeks he was here?
I've never seen any of those movies, not a second of them.
I haven't seen them in probably 15 years.
Again, it's like high highs and low lows. Like, I don't think the movies are as rewatchable as like they're really overrated. I won't lie, but the stuff that works is really fun to watch. And obviously, like the action stuff with the slow motion and all that was, influenced a lot of movies around the time. So I like The Matrix Reloaded. It's just, again, when it's not an action set piece or it's not a scene leading you to an action set piece, it's a fucking snooze fest. We all watched Sleepy Hollow. to get ready for Halloween. Did a movie commentary on it.
It's a fun one.
I won't say much more on it. I'll say my thoughts for the commentary, but I was blown away at how much I loved this movie. This is now an every year Halloween watch for me.
Banner, have you bought the book yet?
I did. About halfway through it.
What the fuck? You really did?
I hate
I got it from the library.
I love that.
God damn it. It's good though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's entertaining.
How long
it's
is
definitely like it gives more context to the movie.
I told you, yeah.
I know. I was very impressed by your sell of the book.
Yeah, from me reading it in 8th grade as a curriculum, basically, thing in my reading class.
Banner, is it written in like Neolithic Edgar Allan Poe type diction, or like would I be able to understand it?
You can understand it.
Washington Irving is the author, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not hard. It's pretty short too.
Less than 100 pages?
I think it's like 125 maybe.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's a lunchtime read for you.
We should start a book club too.
I'm busy that week.
Okay.
Like, I didn't give you a date though. Oh.
Yeah, I'm just super booked up.
Last thing I watched, look for that Sleepy Hollow commentary. I think I have it drop in late September for us. It's on Netflix, dude. What a fucking blast, man. What a surprise movie. I mean, we got Michael Gough, who plays Alfred, Ian McKellen, who plays the Emperor. Jesus Christ. Once you made the sell.
Christopher Lee, Dooku.
Oh, yeah. Although he's in like 11 seconds of the movie.
Still in it.
Still makes it. Last thing I watched, regrettably, was Tyson vs. Jaws Rumble on the Reef.
Nice.
Shark Week. God damn it. So basically, it's Mike Tyson. They claim he's going to, quote unquote, fight a shark. But look, I'm not going to sit here and act like I started watching it expecting he's going to, like, fucking uppercut a shark in the snout. Right? Like, I'm not that.
He'd be all over him. There's no way that could happen.
Right. First off, Matt, the thing you would like, the first 5 minutes, they analyze how a shark bites versus how Tyson bit Holyfield's ear.
That's okay.
Yeah,
that was so pissed I missed this. I'm glad you watched it.
That part, I was like I missed a lot of it just because I was laughing so hard as they were talking about it. Basically what this is like they want Mike Tyson, who obviously needs money. Like, everybody benefits from this thing, right? There's no losers. They want him to do, Banner, is it called a cage dive, where they just put you in the cage and lower you down?
Yeah.
So that's basically what they want him to do. And the funny thing, though, Matt, you'll love this. So Tyson is fighting someone. Who the fuck's he fighting in real life, like in a boxing match?
Roy Jones Jr.
Roy Jones Jr. Great. He won in a bunch of weight classes. He's supposed to be, pound for pound, he's one of the greatest fighters in New Millennium. He was really good. Okay,
so Tyson's like legit in the middle of training for that when this starts. And this guy walks in who's Australian, who is a shark attack survivor. And he's missing one of his arms, like his left arm from the elbow down. And I think it's also his left leg from like the knee down. And he's the dude who's going to train Tyson to cage dive. So obviously he walks in, Tyson sees him, he's like, dude, you're missing like half your fucking limbs. And so, again, he's Australian. He's like, oh, you Mike? I'm a big fan, I'm here to train you how to go dive with the sharks. And he goes, I hope that I don't end up looking like you.
If you have to ask, are you Mike, and then say I'm a big fan, you're probably not the biggest fan ever. I could tell who Mike Tyson is.
Yeah, those two things don't really.
He's got a fucking face tattoo.
Yeah.
Also,
generally, when you see him, you go, "Oh fuck, that's Mike Tyson."
Yeah. Also, he's boxing alone in a gym with a shirt on that says Tyson. But no, good intro question. I just thought it was funny.
Tyson chicken, you don't know.
I just thought it was funny that they sent the guy in with like only half of his limbs to be like, "Hey, you ready to go dive with sharks?" He's like, "This, what kind of a sell is this?"
Really, a flesh wound. Is Shark Week the funnest thing that's happened to us since like March?
Yes, absolutely.
Because Shark Week, you can just be dumb and stupid and no one has a problem with it. Like, it's fun. Like, Tyson's going to fight a shark. I'm like, finally. Something that makes sense.
I won't spoil the end of it. This thing's only an hour long. So if you have it on your DVR, if it airs back on, why not? Give it a fucking watch. It's interesting. Tyson's funny. They have to bleep him out like half the time when he's near sharks. Because he's like, oh, fuck. He calls a couple sharks motherfuckers when they swim too close to him. And it's Mike Tyson and like 11 Australian guys on the film crew, which is just really funny to watch. Oh, Mike, watch out there. Oh, fuck, shit, motherfucker. It's just like an interesting dynamic.
Is it better than when Phelps tried to swim against a shark?
Yes, that was a false bill of goods. Because I actually thought, I knew they weren't going to be in the same pool, but I thought they would have them in separate pools and time them.
Yeah.
They didn't even do that. They had like a digital image of a shark, and I'm like, okay, well.
I know, that one sucked. Like, I actually thought that they were going to have kind of basically the same pool, but with a wall down it. And
yeah, or even in separate pools. I don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah.
When Chad Ochocinco raced was it a horse or a cheetah?
I think it was a cheetah.
They actually had the cheetah in like a separate enclosure, and it ran.
Yeah. I'm surprised that was a false bill of goods. Now, obviously, I didn't think Tyson was going to go underwater and try to fucking, jab, right uppercut like a shark. I didn't think that was going to happen.
The one thing, this isn't a spoiler, but Tyson's diving gear, Banner, instead of a wetsuit, they give him like chainmail armor in case something tries to bite.
Yep, I've actually worn that. It's like 70 pounds extra weight on you.
Yeah, he gets out of the water, and the guy, he uses this analogy too many times, like, Tyson looks like he's gone 12 rounds. Every time.
Oh, no. They do the boxing puns the whole time.
All they speak in. It's like, yeah, we get it. He's a boxer. Fucking relax.
He's just spit bucket over here, mate.
No, he's like, I want Mike to know that I'm in his corner. Like, I'll cut you, Mike. So, Tyson vs. Jaws, Rumble on the Reef. Again, don't go out of your way to watch it, but if it's on TV and you're flipping channels, give it a few minutes.
Stop till the next commercial.
Yeah, maybe just one commercial, though. Don't sit through the break. All right, Banner, did you have a question for us?
Give him lip, bruh.
I feel like it's been a while since we've got to...
Been a little bit.
Yeah. That brings us to the last part of our show, Do You Even Lift, Bruh? Where we ask a question and discuss it that we leave you with. Today's Do You Even Lift, Bruh? It's kind of where we're fitting in our news topic here. So Disney announced this week that after delaying the movie 2 times from its theatrical debut, the live-action Mulan will be releasing on Disney Plus September 6th. Hold up, though, because in addition to needing a subscription to Disney Plus, which I believe, Banner, what's it, $7.99, $6.99?
Yeah, something like that.
In addition to needing that subscription, you will have to pay a one-time fee of $29.99 to view the film in video on demand. Although after you buy it, it will stay on the service permanently. So as long as you have Disney Plus, you can rewatch as many times as you want. Now, this has led to speculation that if this experiment goes well, we could see other studios or possibly even MCU films like Black Widow make the same trip onto streaming at a similar price, either in lieu of theaters or cutting their theatrical run short. So, do we think this is insane, genius, or something in between? Will it have a lasting impact on studios going forward? And then I guess, because Geiger's obviously boycotting Disney Plus, but Banner, will you be purchasing this for your home? Geiger, we'll go to you first and save Banner's response for the end.
I'm trying to pretend I care about the Mulan movie so I can give a adequate response to this. But honestly, that's not that bad of deal. I'm trying to, if I wanted to see this movie. So it's like, say $8 for the service and you get a bunch of shit. Most people are probably already on the service because whenever they said that they hated Star Wars and they'd never watch it again, they weren't like me and had their foot in the ground. But
they have integrity.
$22 is not that bad because if it's actually a movie you want to see.
No, it's $30.
Dollars doesn't subtract from the $30.
Okay, so it's $30 on top of that?
On top, you need a Disney Plus subscription.
I'm still trying to think. If it's a movie you want to see, that's not that bad a deal. Because if you take you and your girl, that's probably $25.
I get it.
bucks, and then later when it comes out, if you buy the DVD, that's another $20. So it's not that bad a deal. The only thing is that you can't really. Here's the thing: most people go to the theater because of the experience, not because of the movie.
Bingo.
Am I right?
Yeah. Yep. If I pay
so
the
you're
money
taking
for the
away the experience because most
Right.
people don't have like surround sound home theater, and you go to the movie too just to be around moviegoers and maybe clap at the end of the movie if it's opening night, and the anticipation and drinking at the bar before and being like, oh, I can't wait to fucking see this movie and eating popcorn and stuff. So I think it should be a little cheaper. I would say maybe $15 would be a good price for that because you're taking away the experience. And there's a lot of movies, man, that you're seeing just because you want to take your girl out or go out with your boys and stuff. You're not really that invested in the movie. You just want the experience of fucking going to a movie and, drinking a couple beers, eating some popcorn with your boys or your girlfriend or wife or whatever. So I hate to think that, and I don't know where theaters are at. Sorry, I'm not up on the news. I saw something. It was a Russell Crowe movie that just came on my screen when I was watching a commercial that said, it said out in theaters August 21st. So I don't know if theaters are coming back.
Some are. And Matt, I don't know if you're done with your point, but let me just jump in real quick. And
I'm pretty much done.
So I agree with everything Matt said. If I pay you, let's say it's $15 a ticket, and you're like, well, it's basically two people going to watch it. You're right, it is. That's the cost of a ticket. Yeah. But like Matt said, when I go to the theater, it's an experience, dude. I want to spend a night out of the house with my girl on a fucking massive screen. Dude, how awesome has the sound gotten in some of these theaters now, right?
And you're seeing trailers. Now, if you're movie people like us, you already kind of seen these trailers. But there's some that I'll see them like, damn, what the fuck is that? Like Get Out was a prime example. I'm like, what the fuck is that movie?
You get to sit there and hold your piss as long as you can because you don't want to miss something, and you try and time that piss just right. I mean, it all goes into it.
But here's my thing. If I'm paying you that much money, I want the theater experience. And look, we all miss it. I want to get out of the house and get drunk at the bar with Matt and talk to people about movies and then go in and watch it just as much as you do. I think this is going to fail for Disney Plus because if you told me, oh, hey, you can pay basically $38 for the month because Banner, correct me if I'm wrong. What is the latest Disney Plus original content since High School Musical, the musical, the series, which I believe ended after Mandalorian? Like, what have they had that's worth our $7 subscription, which I've kept, but what am I paying that for?
As far as new original content, not much. I mean, they've got a couple of documentaries on there that are fine, nothing that blows me away. The reason I have Disney Plus is not for the original content and not for them dropping new things like that. I have it for the older stuff, for the princess movies and all the cartoons and everything like that for my daughter. Me going to the theater to see Mulan, that's, again, like you said, I want to go to the theater. I want to feel my seat vibrating whenever something explodes. I also don't want to pay an extra $30 when, let's be honest with ourselves, before 2021 comes, Mulan will be for free on Disney Plus. I think rumors are going around mid-October maybe. Even if they do it around Thanksgiving or Christmas, it will be free. You don't have to pay that $30 in the next couple of months. So why waste my $30 now? For honestly, Matt, I think you hit the nail on the head. You said, I'm trying to pretend like I'm interested and excited in Mulan. Mulan is not the movie that you practice this on.
Yeah.
What you do this on is you have to go big.
A totally different conversation.
You go big or you go home, and you do this with Black Widow. That's the only way that you're going to know whether this is going to be successful or not. Mulan is not even on the same level as Black Widow or the Fast and the Furious movies or any of the other ones that have gotten pushed. Now, DC, they could probably make more money off of it because people aren't going to go to the theaters to see their movies. But
okay, that's a low blow.
It was.
Here's what I'll say. The thing with Mulan, it's not even like Tenet. Like if Tenet were to do this on, I don't know, they're a Syncopy studio, Warner Brothers, so maybe HBO Max is what their alternative would be. But it's not even like you could be like, dude, you got to buy Mulan so you don't get the spoilers. Like I've seen the animated movie 30 times. I fucking know what happens. I'm with Matt. Like I am very interested in seeing this movie, and if it's in theaters, I will pay you the $30 plus the concessions and the beers to go see it. But sitting at home, $30 for like I don't want to say one-time view because I get it on the service, but plus my subscription, that doesn't move the needle. I'll watch Sandlot again.
I'm not going to spend $30, and yes, you're right, I get it, but what if it sucks? Now I feel like I just wasted $30 on a fucking movie I'm not going to watch again. At least if you go to the theaters, you have, like you said, that experience. People around you, you're eating popcorn, you're out of the house, you go to the bar, go to dinner beforehand. It's not a waste of your night and a waste of $30. Yes, you're probably spending more in the long run, but again, it's a date.
I think it really upsets me of what this says, that I really think the people at Disney think, well, we'll just cut theaters out and we'll just make money our own and we'll just put all our movies on this site we have. And that's absolutely totally wrong. There's just certain things, once everything kind of gets back to normal or the new normal, whatever the fuck you want to call it, there is nothing that takes away from the experience of tailgating at a college football game, then going in there with your buddies, going to a movie on opening night and seeing it before anyone else over your favorite comic book or favorite Star Wars or whatever the fuck you're going to go see. There's nothing that's going to take away from that experience by sitting on your couch and streaming it. There's just not. People want to be around people. They want to be around the atmosphere. They want to be around like-minded individuals that love college football, that love soccer, that love, Star Wars or whatever you guys are going to in person. There's nothing going to take place of the theater experience. I'm sorry. It's just not. Streaming's not going to take over that. If things go back to normal, which they will someday, that theaters need to happen because people just want the experience. They want to hear Star Wars and Avengers and the big boom and shotguns and every fucking thing on the loud screen.
And Matt, to your point, if anything, if you say like, we could do Mulan now on streaming, or you can watch it in June in theaters, I would rather which that's insane. It won't be that long, but I'd rather get back to my normal life and see this in theaters than give you my fucking $30 now and concede. Like, no, that's not the same thing for me. I
understand why Disney is trying to do this. They've had Mulan on the shelf this long. They spent all this money marketing. They're just trying to break even on this. There's no way they're going to be able to make money on this movie. It was too expensive to make, and unfortunately, the time it came out, I think they just want to get rid of it. They have it in their back pocket. It's burning a hole in their pocket. Let's just cut our losses, see what we can go. They might as
well, because if theaters do open when they open, if they all open at the same time, there's going to be so many fucking movies coming out that Mulan is not. They might as well try to make a buck off of it by putting it for $30. They'll make their money back probably.
If they kept it, and that's the first big movie that comes out, people are going to go see that whether they want to or not because it's going to the movies. So why not keep it in your back pocket?
It's probably going to compete against Top Gun and shit like that. It's a problem.
I just feel like, again, the $30 price point doesn't seem to make sense to me on top of the subscription fee. But I'm sure they've run their own metrics.
It's a lot of money to stream a movie because
I'm a Disney blowhard, and I've had Disney Plus, even though I feel like it has been a letdown because obviously the MCU shows have been pushed back and some other stuff. But I'm not even considering buying this. Like, it's not even a thought.
You don't justify you rent a movie online for like $8 because you're not just. It doesn't matter if 10 people are at your home watching it or just you. A movie theater you pay per person. So streaming something that makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. And $30
for that much money.
Now I know everyone was like, "Oh, Trolls World Tour." And Banner, you should speak to this better than I should, but everyone made the Trolls World Tour argument. Like, well, that was $20, and it did pretty well. But I think with a kids movie like that, something you can play multiple times for a child has a totally different appeal.
And if you have 8 kids and you can show them a brand new movie, that right there is worth $20. And maybe it is for Mulan too. I don't know, but I think it's not. Let's be honest. Trolls World Tour was not going to do the same in the box office as Mulan. Mulan was going to destroy that, I think. So, I don't know. I don't even know what to think about that. Jeff's taking a piss. Geiger, what do you want to leave the people with?
Just freeze your eggs.
Freeze your eggs. Pull over for emergency vehicles, guys. We are the Bro Force Squad podcast. hit that subscribe button below or on your phone or wherever. We're on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Anchor. We're on all of that stuff. Wherever you get your
iHeartRadio now.
Yeah, that's a big one. I forgot about that. Let's celebrate.
Yo.
Wherever you get your podcast, we're there. Follow us on Twitter at Broforce Squad, and go ahead and go to our website. We have all of our content there. The Broforce Squad Hall of Fame, some good squad blogs. www.broforcesquad.com. Again, www.broforcesquad.com. Till next time, for the mayor, the enforcer, I'm the scientist, the mad scientist. Catch you next time. Oh, nice of you to show back up.
Bye.
Did you piss your pants?
Did we already sign off?